So, welcome
Hi.
back to another episode of mine. Today, I'm gonna introduce you to one of the best buddies that I have ever known from Mexico. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hey, Rob. What's up with you? Everything's fine here.
So, what's going on? What are you up to nowadays?
Nothing special. I'm just trying to make a balance between my work and my academic life and all. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I have really little time nowadays. I'm trying to make it work. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, like you mentioned last time, you have been trying to, learn new things, and you have been busy for quite some time. So tell me about your work.
Recently, what I'm learning is I got myself back to learning web development again.
Mhm.
So, I mean, do you remember that we got to know each other just because that I used to make website at the first place, and that's why you got interested in me because you wanted a website. So I used to be a web developer, then I left it due to my work, and now I'm just giving it a thought that I should try and learn it again. So I'm just back to it. I'm just starting from the basic, trying to learn the advanced stuff that I didn't know before. So it's a lot of things, man. I'm sure you don't know much about web development
Yeah,
inside of
yeah,
thing, but the people who
yeah.
are watching it, a lot of people know that it's a very, very, very deep hole where you can reach to dive in. So that's what I'm doing
So
currently.
how the life in Mexico?
Oh, life is good. Really, really good. The foods are awesome. The people are awesome. People are coming over from US. Tourists are coming. We're going over there, so it's awesome.
Yeah,
Corona is gone, man.
yeah. Oh, Corona is
Life
gone.
is much. Yeah, life is much better.
I have heard from another friend of mine from Mexico. There are two famous things, cappuccino and one more thing. I mean, what is that?
Tacos.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, taco. I can even say that I'm from tacos. I don't have to say I'm from Mexico. I can say I'm from taco. Okay. Yeah, like the Indian people can say that they're from biryani. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
the most popular thing here.
So, hey, since this is an educational channel, so let's talk about, languages, right? So, tell
Yeah,
me
absolutely.
how your journey started.
Yeah, my journey. Since I English is not my native language, so um, my native language is something else. So I really had to start from the scratch. But um, the tr- I've been got an opportunity to start learning English from maybe when I was 4 years old. That's because of the educational institution. They put a lot of pressure in you. So, but guess what? For next 10 years, I didn't learn shit. Okay, I didn't learn anything at school. I just read my books and go to the exam hall and give it exam, get some crappy mark. So I wouldn't say that I've been learning English from my high school or junior school, but that's true as well. Uh, but to answer your question, that when exactly I started learning English consciously on my own effort, not due to my academic stuff. So I would say that I started learning when I was in college, um, and when I had to give a lot of presentation, and I figured that my English is not quite good enough, but the topic
I
I'm
think it
supposed to
is.
speak on, yeah,
I think it is.
back in those time.
Okay.
So the topic I'm gonna talk about, I knew a lot, but due to my lack of English, I couldn't make it happen. So I really put a lot of hard work at that time. I was counseling with my teachers and all. So I would say that's where my journey began, and it's still going for the same reason.
Cool. So inspiring, so you know, so
Fascinating. Yeah.
worth listening. So, moving on to my next question. Tell me how people learning English can come over the fear of, speaking in front of people and the fear of making mistakes.
Well, there might be a lot of good strategies that people can implement, but I'm just gonna share the one that worked for me to be particular. So, like you know me for a long time, and I'm a big geek of learning new things. So, I believe the best way where you can learn from people. I don't read books that often, so what I do that I go to YouTube and I watch a lot of TED talks. Do you know TED talks? I guess so. I used to do that a lot, way before I started my journey with English. So the thing, what happened is during I was learning things like about astronaut. I was learning things about cars, but that wasn't relevant. What I was watching every single day for a couple of hours, that I was seeing a random person who may be educator, who may be a car mechanic, going to the stage and giving a speech in front of a huge audience. So what psychologically happened is when I saw this thing long enough, okay,
Mhm.
it became a new normal for me, that
Okay.
my brain was thinking that, oh, maybe giving speech in front of a large audience is something normal. Okay, it's not something scary. A lot of people
So,
are doing it. Okay, and they're making mistake. I'm watching this on the phone. They're making mistake, and nobody's doing anything. Nobody's killing them. Nobody's throwing tomato on their
you mean to
face.
say your mind overcome this fear itself?
Exactly. Exact itself. Not itself, by watching people giving speeches. So you can go to auditorium and see
Mhm.
in real life, but still we have this pandemic. So just go and watch TED Talks, and
Speaking
that
of
will
TED Talks,
really
speaking of TED Talks, do you ever think of giving one?
giving one TikTok me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could. Yeah. If I got a chance, I would love to give a TED Talk because I really love public speaking. But But the problem is that I'm not an expert in anything. So only the expert people in any field are allowed to give a TED talk. So I hope that it's going to take a long term before I get an invitation from
You
TED.
know, I have another question from my viewers. I got this question on my last video in the comment box. So, I mean, people start learning and then they lose their confidence. So, how they boost and keep the same, I mean, how they boost their confidence when learning the language, any language in particular.
Do you mean that they start learning something and they lose their motivation? Do you
Motivation,
mean
yeah,
something
you
that?
you call
Okay.
it, you,
Yeah.
you could call it
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. I understand. So what happens is that when you are trying to learn something, or to be specific for this show, learning English or learning in a language, you might lose motivation, and that's gonna happen. Uh, what works for me and what works most of the people, I mean, what is human is the burning reason why you're gonna lose motivation is that you're not seeing progress. Okay, measurable progress. You're not seeing any progress. So why on earth your mind will tell you, oh, keep going, because nothing's gonna happening. It's not gonna get motivated. So you have to start measuring your progress first of all, that you are better than yesterday. You have to make some numeric
Cool, great,
out
you're
of it.
right.
Where was I was talking about the motivation. Yeah, I was saying that you have to measure your progress, and I'm not sure how you can do it, but you have to figure some way because it's gonna vary from person to person. You can say that I learned 10 new words and I can use it. That might be improvement. So you have to really measure it. So
Okay,
I think if you can measure it, you're not gonna lose any motivation.
cool. I mean, you have given so many pieces of advice on how to improve the communication skills, how to learn any particular language. Okay, tell me one more thing. If somebody wants to learn more than one language, right? I mean, Spanish and English at the same time. So, do you think it is okay to learn? It is easy, or do we do one? I mean, like someone has to
No,
fear
I
too
don't
many
think.
things.
No. Um, Learning same kind of things, same kind of two things or multiple things at the same time is a very bad strategy. For anything, for any freaking thing you can imagine. It could be learning, it could be learn how to paint. But if you're trying to learn similar things, but in a different type, it's gonna be very hectic for your learning. So just focus on one language, have a level,
Mhm.
then keep practicing and move on to something else. That would be better. Okay. If you're a
I-
beginner in French and if you're a beginner in Spanish, you should not start learning both together. That's my point.
So informative. So, from my perspective, what I know, you know, I think if you want to learn a language, you should make it as your habit. I mean, you should make it a habit of yours. You should, make it a routine work of yours. How?
Uh, well, uh, I do not agree with that because uh, because that didn't happen with me. Actually, I
Mhm,
never had a routine of learning English,
mhm.
and to be honest, I never learned English. I
You
mean,
are a
I never
rare.
I never sat down and
Mhm,
told myself, "Hey, let's learn some English." Okay, I never did that.
mhm.
All the English that I have is just I picked it up from TV shows. I picked it up from reading books, just doing it for a long time. That's the thing.
Okay,
So if you can make it a habit, that's good. If you don't, you have
since we have
options.
limited time, so just five pieces of advice to learn language in a better way and in an effective way.
Yeah. 5 pieces of advice that worked for me. Okay.
Mhm,
The number one should be that you have a very clear reason to learn language. Okay. That
mhm,
should be number one. And if you don't have it, the risk will not work.
mhm,
So, secondly, that you have to decide what type of learning works for you. You know, some I like visual learning,
mhm,
watching movies. People like Rob who are very into books. They like reading. Okay, so I have to define that.
mhm,
And then third is that once you decide your medium, you have to collect the content that you enjoy. Okay, if you're gonna read a book, find that book you're gonna enjoy, not something is boring. Okay, don't watch a boring TV show just for learning English. You gotta enjoy it. Okay.
like
Number four,
I watch a lot of Netflix.
exactly,
So do
exactly. And
you.
you were enjoying. Yeah, I do. I watch a lot of TV shows.
And
So
four,
number four should be that you do it on regular basis. Okay, you
mhm,
do it on really regular basis.
mhm.
And
Be
finally, what you should
consistent, you
do that
mean.
exactly, be consistent, do it all the time.
Mhm,
Like you said, make it a habit. And finally, is that try to use your language. I mean, I would say that prioritize the target language rather than your native language. Okay.
yeah.
If you are a French speaker and you are trying to learn English, okay, use less French, use
Mhm.
more English. Okay,
Absolutely.
everywhere, everywhere with your mom, even with your mom. So do it. You'll be rock
Thank
and
you
roll.
so much for your precious time and reaching out to us and make it possible to I mean, make record this video. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. You're doing a great job.